There's some things taking place. Now, can I prophesy?
Prophesy.
Hey, there was a time in America where crime started to rise. Can I prophesy?
Prophesy.
I think it was maybe in the earlier parts of this nation where an unusual trend of crime began to take place. And this spirit began to arise like they didn't have a name for it at the time, but eventually they came with this name like serial killer. Meaning one that killed and murdered people. Amen. Not necessarily for a hostile reason. Just understand that. But someone having a nature like to kill. How many know that's a spirit? Amen. Now we need to pray because I was taken this week to a crime scene. And I'm not going to name the specific crime, but it happened this week, and I saw where they hid the body, and yet right now they have someone in custody. It's not the man. Amen. This body was found by the rivers. Even this happened this week. Amen. Now imagine I can call the police department and say, you guys have the wrong guy. Hello. In fact, the actual killer is poised. Amen. Poised against the department. Meaning he's right over their shoulder. Can I prophesy? But yet they have the wrong man. Amen. Somebody begin to pray.
Basho komayande bahaya si sike mayande de basho yamaya.
I'm asking the Lord what this means. Amen. And we need to pray, and intercessors watching, we need to pray for crime rates in America. And also, we need to pray for this spirit that's trying to re-emerge. Amen. Where trends and what do they call these copycats and these things trying to re-emerge. Amen. And we need to pray because you'll see on the news not only people, hey, can I prophesy? But it targeting law enforcement personnel being murdered. Amen. We need to pray for this family. Amen. Because we'll see in the news. And I'm praying that if it should be diverted, or if it had already happened, because some of these things are 24-hour notice. But I saw her and the family attacked was in their sleep because they were followed. Those that were on the case. Can I prophesy? Amen. And usually when these things take place, it's not just a matter of one thing, it's a matter of a deeper meaning, because things happen in the spirit first. Does someone see that? This is an ugly scene that we need to pray about. Amen. How many remember when I prophesied about the woman that was buried in her wedding dress? And I said it was a sign for the nation. That when they found her, it was a sign that God has not abandoned America, that we would prevail in this 2025. Remember that? 24 hours later, guess what we saw on the news? Exactly the way that we described the burial. Remember? The angel of the Lord stood by the woman in the dirt, and she recalls the dirt being thrown on top of her. I was in the grave with her, because in my vision, remember this? It's a wild prophecy, amen? You remember that? For the life, I wouldn't know why God was showing me the news, but you understand that things that happen, they're signs, because there's spirits at work, amen? And then we prophesied about the baby. God took my spirit to Texas, where I saw a baby lying in the street, and I saw the angel of the Lord throw the umbilical cord of the baby so it would be found. One day later, breaking news, Katy, Texas baby found. Couple walking past the scene saw the umbilical cord. Isn't that wild? Amen. So the God you serve is real. Amen. He knows what's going on with your life. He knows what's going on with this nation. Details, and he's handling things. Amen. So we want to pray. We want to pray. Amen. This body was found by the cave. It was around the cave. They were sweeping the river, trying to find it. But yet there was a body found in the cave there. Amen. All the while, the one that they have is not the one. They're saying, isn't that wild? So we need to pray. Amen. Now, just a few things that I want to mention before we transition here.